It's the beginning of the year and we're probably full of thoughts or ideas or themes that are sort of arising in us. To start with, I'd like you to make a list or just jot down some of the intentions that you have. So you might have intentions that you're very clear about and you want a little bit more clarity around them, or you may not have any idea and you want to have some idea. And if you haven't got any idea, they can just show sort of different areas of your life, like work, family, play, this sort of thing. Okay, so put that aside. We're going to come back to that. Start to see if you can build up an image of a flame as a way to represent to you the heart in the heart fire, the fire within the heart. So what we want to do is just begin to drop into much more of a feeling modality, but take with us something that represents like a symbol of the flame. I'm using the flame because it's very responsive, but it might not be a good image for you. You might want to use like a glow or something, but something that has the ability to be very responsive. So you want to see what your flame is like today at this point, and just share your inner space with that for a moment. Notice how you're breathing, just get comfortable with that. And then we're going to just put the flame somewhere safe in your sort of mind's eye. Just put it out the way for a minute, and we're going to come back to that as we go through the experiential. If you have a chair that is, because we're going to do a little bit of movement, I'm going to guide you through, facilitate you to do some movement within this. So I'd like you to be sitting in a place that is easy to stand up and down from. So you're not sort of really sort of lost into the curves of your sofa. So a couple of things whilst you do this. I'm going to talk you through, we're just going to drop into our body, then I'm going to get you to stand up and sit down, stand up again, and then you're going to find a place in your room. So that's the only movement you're going to be sort of involved with. Now, when we do the first part, you can, when you're sitting down, you can have your eyes closed, but when you're up, just check that your eyes are open as you move around the room. If it's painful, if you've got bad joints or painful hips or whatever, and it's not comfortable for you to be standing and sitting, then stay where you are, but shift position. So when we've moved to a place in the room, find a different position where you're sitting, just so that you can get a different body posture, so you can get a different experience of how it feels in the body. Okay, so get comfortable in your chair and close your eyes. Just take a moment to settle into the body. So become aware of the places that are touching the surfaces. In your room, so it might be the chair, the sitting bones on the chair. It might be your back against the back of the chair or the wall, your feet on the floor. And then just bring a little bit of movement to the head. So just a tiny little bit of movement, just to create some physical sensation. Just bring to alert different body parts. You might let your head come forward a little bit, slightly go back, just a really small circle, and then let it just settle on the top of the neck. Come down to your shoulders and make a circle with your shoulders. So imagine that you've got like a little ball inside your shoulder joints, and the little ball is moving and it's taking the shoulders with you. So you did a really relaxed sort of movement. As you bring them back, this time just take your shoulder blades together and sort of almost like you're squeezing the spine. And then relax, do that again, come back and just take into the spine and maybe arch the spine a little bit, give it a little bit of a stretch, welcome stretch, and then let the arms release. And then bring the shoulders sort of forward so you curl in, a very common position for most of the day for most of us. So you just sort of cave in the front. So when the front is closed, the back is open and vice versa. And then just relax that. Do that again. So we want to get a sense of movement in our whole sort of torso. And then just taking that rib cage and facing it to the right and then turning it facing to the left, getting a bit of a twist, gentle twist into the spine and back to the center, and then just make a big C shape as if you breathe into the back of your back. So pushing your breath into your back and then pushing into the front of your chest. So just filling up your torso with your breath. Then coming back to the shoulders and coming down the arms, come to the elbows and let your elbows just jiggle. So a nice jiggling movement will help to relax a lot of the tension that we hold in our elbows. And let that jiggling come down to the wrists and to the fingers. And notice how you're breathing. If you stop breathing, like I just did, just take a breath in and sigh and just flick the fingers off. And back to your sitting bones on the chair and begin to move forward and back. So the sitting bones are like little rockers. So imagine you're rolling to the front of them and rolling to the back. So as you do that, as you roll forward and back, you're moving your pelvis, you're moving your spine, you're moving the whole of your upper body. And breathe. And then come into a place of stillness and feel down your legs to your knees, to your lower legs and to your feet. So just become aware of them. And then bend at the hips, and as you bend forward slightly at the hips, you can feel that you're pushing down your legs into the floor. And then push into the floor that comes up back through your legs so you sit up. So just do that a couple of times. So bending forward from the hips, taking the weight through the legs into the floor, pushing through your feet into the floor and coming back to sit in a line way. And then just do any movement you feel you need to do just to arrive. So with your eyes closed, if you hadn't closed them already, take a moment to acknowledge your breath, to become aware of how your rib cage is changing shape as you breathe in and breathe out, how the rest of your body begins to respond to that breathing in and breathing out. You might feel the flow of air passing through your nostrils as it comes in and out, as it passes through in and out of the lungs via the nostrils and back out into the air again, making a connection to the environment. So always bringing in the environment and breathing it out. There's always that connection. So now become aware of that whole movement of expansion and contraction. that we felt in actually just breathing, and let that feeling just extend out to the rest of your body so that the whole body begins to, or we can imagine it to expand and to contract. So out through the rest of our torso, down our limbs, down our legs, right to our toes, through our arms, to our fingers, our neck and our head, all the way to the skin. And then as you continue to breathe, if you want to, so you can make a choice here, but you can begin to extend your breath out from your center, extend that out to beyond the skin, into the space that is surrounding you. So close to the body at the moment. So extending and then contracting. So the bubble in which you're breathing into is just getting bigger with every breath that you take. So we want to sort of create some sort of area around us that we can use the breath to help clear any of the clutter that's in our field, in our mind, in our thoughts, any of the noise. We can just begin to use the breath to move all of that out to the edge of our bubble. And just move it outside of the bubble so that we can end up with a space that is as clear as possible from outside influences or interferences. And as we continue to breathe, we fill up that space with the energy that is radiating from our heart. So the quieter the space is, the more we can attend to and listen to the heart in whichever way it wants to communicate with us. So just coming back a bit more into the physicality of the body, but maintaining that sort of space around you, that nice clear space that is just full of your own heart's energy. Bring your hands to rest on your chest or over your heart. So you've got a little feeling of the sensation of pressure in your heart area. You might begin to feel the warmth of your hand, of the touch, and imagine that's permeating into the heart area. And you might even feel the heartbeat. So hopefully we've set up a place that is quiet, as clear as it can be right now. And we have imbued it with the energy of our own heart. At any point, if this is uncomfortable for anyone, you can always just breathe deeply, come back to the physicality and open your eyes. Go back to the image of your flame. And I'd like you to imagine that you're introducing that flame into your heart space. Notice what that feels like. You're introducing something, and it may fit in very well, or it may take a few moments to find a connection, to integrate. Just notice how that flame is. Is it as you left it a little while ago? Is it changed now it's come into the heart space? What happens to the energy of it? Does it glow or burn brighter, or is it get diminished? So again, no judgment, you're just observing. And the observations is what's going to give you the information on which you can listen with. So we're going to use this flame that's settled within the heart space as a barometer as we begin to bring different other aspects of this experiential in. So I'd like you to just maintain that feeling if you can, or hold on to that feeling and open your eyes as you come up into standing. So you might want to let go, take your hands down by your side as a way of helping you up. But notice the transition to standing as you bring with you that quality. So the more movement you can bring into this exercise, the more sensations you will create to work with. So as you stand, again, tune in to the experience of the flame in that heart space. Has there been any changes? Notice your breathing. Does your muscles feel different? Do they tense up differently? Is there any different qualities, or is it the same? So slowly come back down to sitting again. Just check in with, now you have stood up with a different relationship to gravity. Has that added anything? Has that informed or changed anything? So at the moment, we're just getting familiar with our sort of reference point. So now I'm going to ask you to stand up again. This is the last time you'll be going up and down. So come up into standing. Now that you're more familiar with bringing these qualities with you. And I want you to just go to your list of intentions and just bring one of them, just choose one of them in your mind and bring that into your heart space. So it may be one of the intentions you thought you would work with, or it might be something very different. So just go with that the heart is guiding me. So notice what happens when you bring your intention. Your intention brings with it a whole story, perhaps. What happens to the flame? So this is your barometer. How does a flame respond? That flame encompasses many, many qualities. And you might become clear of particular qualities. So now that you've sat with it a little bit, you've integrated this intention into your heart space, I want you to ask your intention to take you somewhere in the room. Now, this might be just one step away, it might be several steps away, but just from your intuition, from an impulse, or just a hunch, without thinking about it, find a place in the room where you feel this intention feels, yes, I'll be here. You might have to wander a little bit first, but you'll find a place where this feels, yes, why not? So when you arrive at this place, take a moment to notice anything new. Has anything changed? Has anything been added by the fact that you're in a place where this intention has led you to? There may be an image or a word, or something may come into your mind. So just take a moment to be with that. And experience any sensations in your body. This is a focus and attend to the language of sensation instead of the language of words. And then you can ask the question, is there anything else that can inform me in relation to this intention? So you're asking your heart space and the space that you've been taken into, is there anything else that can inform me in relation to this intention? And just wait. The messages from the heart are very quick. They often get unnoticed because they can be very quiet. But the thing to do is to begin to recognize the quality of how you're being connected to, how you can listen. What is the quality? And that's what you can seek out again and again, rather than the loudness. So thank the wisdom of your heart, and you're going to get prepared to come back to the standing position from where you started from. So you can have your hands maybe somewhere else in your body, maybe just hanging, or maybe over the heart, wherever is comfortable. Now you've got that sort of embodied. So take a deeper breath, breathe out, let the knees soften, maybe give yourself a bit of a jiggle. As we let that whole experience, we encapsulate it maybe in a word or an image within our head and let it go. We'll come back to that at the end. So you just want to reset yourself in your standing position. Go back to that feeling of neutrality or where you started from if you can. Just to go back to, okay, this is where I started. I'll come back here. Has anything changed at all? And now take another intention off your list, and we'll do the same again with this. So bring this next attention into your heart space. Notice how your flame responds. It might have any of those qualities of fire we spoke about. It might become more engaging, more radiant, less radiant, less engaging. It might encompass, it might be raging. All those qualities of fire. And then ask the intention to find its place in the room. So listening to the sensations in your body, allow yourself to be taken to a place in a room. And this may be the same place, unlikely. It may be close by, or it may be a very different place. So again, you're just going to settle into the experience of what it's like to be here with this intention. How is this intention influencing your experience of your inside of your body? It might feel more balanced, it might feel more of or less than. There may be a word that comes in, an image. See if you can notice that quality that you might have noticed before, the quality of actually listening through sensation in the body. Ask the question, is there anything else that can inform me in relation to this intention? Is there anything else that can inform me in relation to this intention? And just give space for whatever comes in. So thank the wisdom of your heart and get ready to come back. Noticing as you leave that place, the feeling of leaving that place. Can you take it with you? Is it something is very different when you move towards your neutral place? So come back to standing. Take a breath in. Big sigh and a breath out, and just begin to move your body, jiggle, soften your knees. Move, just come back to where you were before we started, but a very altered position. And then find your way to sitting. Again, check in. Does it feel any different? This is where we started this from. So how different or how much the same do you feel? So information can come in, as you know, in many different ways. It can be just a feeling. It might be that there was some very clear information, particularly if you're very connected to spirit in that way. And it might be nothing at the moment. But if you just let it evolve over the next few days, something may come.